Hi, I'm Dave. Hey, recently I read an opinion piece in the New York Times that tried to argue that the Senate handling of the impeachment was a sham, and that's why I decided to do this video. My goal is to inform and not to offend, but with the Democratic Party having gone so far to the left, it is very hard to talk about the issues without exposing their lunacy. Prager University has a short video describing the difference between a liberal and a leftist. Dennis Prager concludes the video with this statement: "Dear liberals, conservatives are not your enemies, the left is. My argument is with the leftists in the Democratic Party and not with those that Dave Rubin would call classical liberals. I agree that this impeachment is a sham, but the Democrats are the villains and not the Republicans. The Democrats are guilty of orchestrating a political coup that started before Donald Trump took office. The leftists that control the Democratic Party gave the same justice and due process to President Trump that they gave to now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Some of the Democrats actually ran for office in 2018 as being the best qualified to lead the impeachment before they even had the evidence. Let's review what we know. First, we know that in the 2016 Democratic primaries, CNN debate monitor Donna Brazile gave Hillary Clinton the debate questions before Clinton's debate with Bernie Sanders. Second, we know that the Democratic National Committee rigged the primaries to favor Hillary Clinton. And third, we know that the Obama administration's FBI used fabricated information and lied to the courts to get FISA warrants to spy on current President Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. So this is how I think any rational person would see it. Hillary Clinton cheated in the 2016 presidential primaries. The Democrats spied on Republican Donald Trump when he was running for president in 2016. Then the Democrats lied about Russian collusion all the way through the 2018 midterms to pick up enough seats in the House to gain the majority so that they could impeach President Trump. And finally, they impeached President Trump to try to stop him from being reelected by the American people. And somehow they want us to think that Trump is the guilty party. I don't think so. Anyway, maybe if President Trump held a big ceremony in the Oval Office and gave Hillary a participation trophy for the 2016 election, the Democrats would be happy and still like living in America. But I doubt it. Anyway, it has become obvious to all except the most partisan observers that the Democratic Party abused its power and possibly committed additional crimes. It is way past time for Republicans to go on the offensive. Senator Lindsey Graham laid out the proper channels of investigation when he said that we need the Senate Intel Committee to look into Adam Schiff, his lies, the whistleblower, and any relationship that existed between Schiff and the whistleblower. He said we need the Foreign Relations Committee to look into Joe Biden, his son, and Burisma. And we need the Judiciary Committee to look into all things FISA. I recommend calling or emailing your senators and congressmen and tell them you want these investigations. The phone numbers for Congress is 202-225-2801, and for the Senate, 202-224-3121. I wish we could impeach these seditious Democrats, but unfortunately, the only way to stop the leftists that control the Democratic Party from continuing their abuse of power is to vote them out in November. It's also important to keep in mind that we now have liberal activists masquerading as journalists. They decide what issues to magnify, which to ignore, and how to spin the facts. These partisan hacks are like unelected leftist bureaucrats working in media to control the political narrative and the direction of our country. I am old enough to remember when most journalists had integrity and biased reporting was unacceptable. If you have children and grandchildren, be sure to talk to them about how biased the media has become. Remember, they have never known anything different than the corrupt media we have today. They need to know this truth if they are to live in a free country. Unfortunately, we are also dealing with many liberal and Marxist educators that pollute our children's minds with the sins of our nation's past while at the same time minimizing the inherent goodness of America, its people, and the sacrifices that have been made for freedom in our country and in other countries around the world. Share this truth with your children as well, since they may not learn it in our schools. Encourage everyone you know to vote. It is my opinion that President Trump is our best defense against global socialists and communists that want to take over our country. If you listen to President Trump's last two addresses to the United Nations, he makes it clear that he supports the diversity and sovereignty of nations and not the one world government favored by liberal elites. That's one of the many reasons why I strongly support Trump in 2020. The reason I'm spending my time doing this is to encourage other people to find their voice. By design, the progressive agenda has bullied many people into silence and submission. This is not a time to be silent. The communists in Russia are not our biggest threat. The communists we need to worry about the most are already in our country and in some cases in our government. Sometimes I wish I was just a laid-back kind of guy that didn't give a damn, but I have children and grandchildren that will be here long after I'm gone. So I have decided to do whatever I can to leave them a country that is worth living in. I'll end with this from Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for the Lord your God, he is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Dave out. Have a great day.